Hello everyone, we will be talking about Gene Watson's theory of human caring. Let's start off with historical background. Gene Watson developed this theory between 1975 and 1979. During this time, she was a professor at the University of Colorado. The theory was inspired and formed by her doctoral studies in clinical education and social psychology. The purpose of her theory was to bring meaning and focus to the nursing practice. From this theory, she developed the human caring process, which is famously known as the 10 curative factors. This slide shows us the 10 curative or curative factors. Gene Watson developed the 10 curative factors to form a framework to help understand nursing as a science. Watson used the term curative instead of curative to distinguish between nursing and medicine, whereas curative aims towards curing the person of disease, and curative factors aimed towards the caring process. The word curative was then expanded to the word curitas, which is a Latin word meaning to cherish and appreciate. Watson's theory is heavily based upon love and caring, and a relationship between nurses and patients, which is all part of caring science. Watson's theory also emphasizes on the sense of belonging. She explains how the caring theory is much greater than our being and how it far surpasses medical science. It's a practice that is guided by human-to-human caring. In saying so, I want to point out 3 of Watson's curative factors. The first one is installation of faith and hope. This means being present and instilling faith and hope by incorporating values and beliefs, which creates the opportunity to release worries to a higher being. After I read this, I automatically thought of God and being in this position as a nurse and practicing, and how I have been implementing Watson's theory without even knowing it. The next one is cultivating sensitivity to oneself and others. This promotes a trusting relationship and the ability to forgive. It reminds me of the scripture, John 13, verses 34 to 35. To love one another. I believe it's part of being able to forgive by exercising love. The next one is gratification of human needs. Watson called this human care essentials. This focuses on wholeness and unity of the mind, body, and spirit. It really considers the individual's perspective. And upon reading this definition of gratification of human needs, I also thought about Matthew 25, verses 35 to 36. This to me defines what we do as nurses and our calling to serve others. So the next slide is on the core concepts. We have society, nursing, transpersonal, human being, health, and actual caring. Watson emphasized placing love and heart in the center of your practice, and this can be demonstrated through transpersonal caring, which is going beyond your ego, to a higher spiritual caring, which is created by what Watson defines as caring moments. In this sense, there is a moral commitment to protect and enhance human dignity. A caring occasion is a human-to-human transaction. She defines nursing as human science of persons and human health, and believes that every society has people who have cared for others, and a caring attitude is not transmitted from generation to generation by quote-unquote genes. It is transmitted by the culture of the profession as a unique way of coping with this environment. This ties into nursing and our field as caregivers.
The importance of Gene Watson's theory is it provides nursing with a philosophical, moral, and ethical foundation for our practice, which is primary at the disciplinary level. This model also provides a guide to improve the practice and give our patients the best holistic care possible. The theory can also be seen as what most nurses already know as their ADPI. While her theory does not specifically state this, it does have what would be considered the scientific method in it, and which is what nursing is. The importance of Gene Watson's theory is it provides nursing with a philosophical, moral, and ethical foundation for our practice, which is primary at the disciplinary level. This model also provides a guide to improve the practice and give our patients the best holistic care possible. The theory can also be seen as what most nurses already know as their ADPI. While her theory does not specifically state this, it does have what would be considered the scientific method in it, and which is what nursing is about.
Next are assumptions, and we have caring can be effectively demonstrated in practice only interpersonally. Caring consists of curative factors that result in the satisfaction of certain human needs. Effective caring promotes health in individual or family growth. Caring responses accept the patient as he or she is now, as well as what he or she may become. Okay, moving right along with assumptions. A caring environment is one that offers the development of potential while allowing the patient to choose the best action for him or herself at a given point in time. A science of caring is complementary to the science of curing, and the practice of caring is central to nursing. So, after reading the assumptions, it's easy to see that Watson's theory is very patient-centered, but it can also be applied in different areas, not just the nursing practice. It can be applied in your daily life, in your family life, or even at work, in your work environment. In reading these assumptions, you get the sense of just really being giving and giving of yourself and being patient with who they are, encouraging positive growth, promoting growth and health while being authentically present.
Gene Watson's theory leads to professional role development because it is one of the easier theories to understand and follow for nurses. This theory assists in development as it helps the nurse develop a trust with their patient. The nurses must listen to the patient and enter into a transpersonal relationship where the patient is being honored by the nurse by listening to their story and honoring their story. Jean Watson's theory is based on caring, which is a central core fundamental of nursing, and it is one of the unifying focuses to our practice. Jean Watson's theory guides practice, education, and research for the nurses in the United States and throughout the world. Jean Watson's theory is a guide to what many magnet hospitals in the United States are using and have been found to be culturally consistent with nursing in many other countries around the world. While Jean Watson's theory is ever evolving, it is a testament to how much this theory is core to the nursing world. Caring is what we do. Caring is who we are.
Next, we are going to talk about applying the theory to research, education, and practice. Applying the caring theory in nursing research. This theory could be used when trying to study the effects of caring in nursing. A research example could be how a caring nurse is perceived by a patient or the healing effects of a caring nurse on a patient. Research can help nurses understand the patient's experience, their perspective. A qualitative research would be great in gathering data for this type of theory. In nursing education, this theory, you can focus on the Caritas process, and an example could be when implementing the Caritas process, nurses learn the importance of different cultures and how to create a caring and healing environment. For example, some cultures refuse analgesia for childbirth, and the nurse who follows the Caritas process will accept the patient's decision regardless of his or her personal beliefs. In this sense, the nurse goes beyond herself or himself, which creates a caring environment that is patient-centered. In nursing practice, this theory can be applied by structuring your time or managing your time so that you can be authentically present with whomever you're with. This can also be applied by displaying caring behaviors and nurturing and supporting self-confidence and self-worth.